Welcome to Start Talk. My name is Aaron Thomas, Marketing Director here at Start.ca, joined with Al Uniac from Start.ca. Al is our director, our service desk director here at Start.ca. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, Aaron. Happy to be here.
Great. Now, one of the things that you do here is you run the service desk. So hundreds of people that work down there taking calls, emails, dealing with any support-related issue that we have. So I just want to kind of know a little bit more about you. How long have you worked at Start, and what brought you to here?
Yeah, so I've been here at Start since 2011, so 6 years now, just passed. When I began at Start, I knew Pete and Daryl and what they did, and I was excited about the opportunity that they provided here. So I came in really just to start managing a little bit more of the day-to-day stuff at the service desk so that they could focus more on growing the business. And at that point it was 12, let's say 15 people in total at Start, including Pete and Daryl. And so it was a really small group, and it was neat because I knew where they were coming from in terms of what their focus was for Start and their customers, which was really being a friendly, customer-focused place. And so with that, as we've grown over the years, we're up to, like you said, about 100. Actually, next week we have more staff coming in, so I will hit 100 staff under the service desk umbrella. So it's been a pretty awesome experience, and with all the growth and all the challenges and fun that comes along with that. I've been trying to focus on keeping, I think, what Pete and Daryl's vision originally of the company was from the service perspective. So that's my role.
Great. Now, a question for you. You brought it up when you started here. Now, when I started here, this was kind of the first time I've actually heard of a service desk in this industry. Mm-hmm. Is not calling it a call center, was that kind of the model that you wanted to come in here and shift away from that? Yeah,
I think so. I think when we started here, being in London, we're very fortunate. As everybody knows, London's a great test market for a lot of different things, and one of the reasons is the variety of business and industry that we have here. And London is home to several pretty prominent and well-known call centers, and so we're in an envious position, I guess, from some other companies where we're able to, when we advertise for postings, we do get people who have experience. So our focus is always on bringing people who might have a little bit of phone experience because they're comfortable with that and know how to do it. But we're also looking for kind of that fit for Start, which is really, are they able to focus on the customer experience? My staff, when I come in, one of the first things I do is an orientation with them and help explain a few things to them from my perspective and what I would hope to see in service desk staff. And one of the first things I say is that we aren't a traditional call center. And it's not that call centers aren't great. There's a lot of awesome people there. But sometimes call centers can be seen as in a negative light, especially by some of the people who work there. So we made a conscious decision to refer to ourselves regularly as a service desk. We're taking calls, inbound calls, we're making outbound calls. So yes, we do a lot of that. But our focus is really more, and always has been and will continue to be, on providing our customers with awesome experiences, but also allowing our agents, our staff, the people who answer the phones, the opportunity to do their best by not worrying about a lot of what is traditional call center type methods and models. You're able to serve the customer when they're calling up? Correct. Yeah, we want our staff to feel comfortable and just do what it is they do best.
Now, what do you think is, I don't want to say your secret, but something that you do that helps kind of lead your team? And 100 people, you've got to kind of set a certain amount of standards. So what is it that puts you a little bit different than a lot of other people in that same type of role and position?
Well, it starts with getting the right people, I think. So again, I'll refer back to the point that in London we have we're lucky that we can tap into a demographic, a workforce that's already kind of had exposure to what we do here. So that helps. We try to give our agents, all our staff, the opportunity and the tools to do what they need without having to necessarily escalate an issue or give up ownership. I'm not about so much about hard call times. You have 7 minutes to get on to the next call, ask your 10 questions and get on. I always say, if it takes our agent 5 minutes to do a call, great, as long as it's a good experience. If it takes our agents 55 minutes to do a call, I'm okay with that, as long as the customer is getting what they need. So we try to empower our staff and provide them with the tools and support. And so that's really what we're trying to do and drive that. And so I don't think it's a big secret or necessarily anything magical, but it's just us trying to give our agents the support and the freedom to do what they need to give their customers a great experience.
Now, this is a very interesting question that I really liked. So generally speaking, when someone calls up the service desk, what is something that, let's say a customer has no idea that's going on behind the scenes as soon as that phone is picked up?
Well, again, I think it depends on the customer. It depends on the situation or the reason that they're calling. But I think in general, our staff are really interested in providing a great experience. And so we try again to give them the tools. And one of the things that I'm not a big fan of levels in our environment. So when I say that, I mean I don't like tier 1, 2, 3, 4 before you get your solution. So what we try to do that maybe customers don't appreciate until they've dealt with us a few times is that we try to give our agents the authority and the ability and the tools again to make decisions that maybe frontline or first level support in other organizations wouldn't be allowed to do. So that when a customer calls in and they think they have to ask questions in a certain way or be a little more aggressive in how they approach our staff, hopefully they learn fairly quickly that our staff can do a little bit more, and we allow them to do a little bit more for our customers, so that customer only has to really talk to one agent, hopefully the majority of the time when they call, to get their issue resolved. So I think that's one thing that we really try and focus on, and is getting our agents to understand that they're allowed to do that. We want them to do that, and we will back them up when they make decisions and say that's the right thing, that's the Start thing to do. So.
Great. Now, we're obviously filming this show. It's an online show. So I want to talk a little bit about social media. I want to talk about how people it shifted over the past, let's say, 5 to 10 years of reviews being done online and customers going online and using social platforms when, they have every right to, but we'd like to take that opportunity first. So let's kind of talk about that. How do you deal with situations where customers are frustrated sometimes and they go to social media first without giving, let's say, your service team the opportunity to find a solution for those problems?
Yeah, so I think what we've developed over the last little while, over the last year or so, is really a better method or a process for managing and being aware of that point of contact or that avenue for customers to share their concerns. And yeah, it is, social media is a great tool for a lot of different things, and people do use it for things like expressing concerns or frustrations and whatnot. And we get that. First and foremost, I'm a customer of many businesses, you're a customer of different businesses. So we all understand that everything doesn't go as awesome as we would hope it would all the time. With regards to social, I think with our team that we have now that regularly reviews and tries to be on top of it as much as possible, I think it gives us an opportunity to reach out to the customers in a very public forum and express, maybe what the next steps are, what we can do. It gives us an opportunity to dig into as well. If it's an existing customer, we'll certainly go into our customer management system and see if we can find the issue if it's already logged for that customer, and do a little bit of digging. If it's something that we feel that we can handle, we might give a quick direction online, but a lot of times we'll ask them if, when it's a good time to contact them, or ask them to call in and ask for a specific agent who might be dealing with it. It's just another way for customers to share good and opportunities to get better online with other people. And it's something that's there. We have to work with it. It's not a bad thing. It's just another way that the whole process for people to connect with businesses that they are engaged with. It's a way for them to connect, and we have to be able to respond appropriately.
So before we end the show, what I want to do is I want to ask you kind of a question that let's say we're encompassing everybody who works in service desk here. So if we want all of our customers and customers of other organizations to look at what we do as kind of a benchmark for service, what do you think the next few years are going to be for the service desk and for Start, and how we continue to progress moving forward in terms of service and what we can and what we can't do?
Well, again, I think you touched on it a little bit with talking about the social aspect, the social media aspect. I think what we're always doing is we're trying to, obviously my preference is always to be able to speak with customers. I mean, there's a certain tone, certain rapport that you can build when you're hearing someone as opposed to reading a text or writing something out in a response. So I'm not a huge fan of electronic interactions, but it is effective if done correctly. So my preference is always to have that kind of voice to voice, or even in the case of our Cassie downstairs, who's in our reception area, that face to face as much as we can. But we know that can't always happen. Even though we're in London and our only office is in London, we can deal a lot with London and area customers that way. But I think with our phone systems and artificial intelligence and all these other things, we really want to. We know that there's a variety of ways that different customers like and prefer to get support, and we know that we have to provide those opportunities for our customers. So we're looking at better ways to make use of our telephone technology here through call routing. We've got some things in the hopper right now in terms of some of the systems we have that we're using and want to develop to make it a better experience to get the customers to where they need to be as quickly as possible. There's also, and there always has been, kind of that idea that if you can move the support and the self-help out to the customer, there's probably a good size group of people who would prefer to start first on our website and click here and try this, and here's an update and download this. So I think what we have to do is continue to evolve and be prepared to meet the requirements of our customers, because technology's everywhere. Our kids probably know more about technology than we do now, because our kids haven't been alive without internet, right? And so internet came along after we were around and in high school and that sort of thing. So we have to be able to prepared to adapt to that. So I think at Start we're in a good position. We have a lot of neat things going on. And so I'm looking forward to being able to extend our friendliness in a Start way. I want to make sure we do it right, and that experience is still awesome for our customers, whether we're talking to them on the phone, meeting them downstairs in our reception area, or dealing with someone 800 miles away through an email or a text or chat or whatever it is that we're going to be moving towards. So,
I want to ask you a question. Let's say someone's coming brand new into this industry of service desk or call center, whatever that industry would be. With all your experience in leading a service desk and leading that, what would that one thing that you would want to pass on to them be? The first message that you have for someone in the industry or starting off in the industry and serving customers, what's the one message that you have for them?
So I can speak to hopefully the service desk, the technical support side of it, but I'm sure some of it applies in general. But I think for us, what we try and do is have our staff and our employees be themselves first and foremost, because if you are genuine, it's going to come through. It's going to help you through some sticky situations with customers. It's building trust and rapport. And I think customer support and good customer support really relies on that trusted relationship that you build with the customer in a lot of times a very short period of time. And so if you're someone who's able to do that and you like technology, then maybe a service desk career, an opportunity would be something worth stepping into and giving it a try. We try and keep it fun here. Most of our customers, actually, we have a lot of awesome customers as much as we do have awesome staff. And so if you've got that customer focus, you want to do a good job, you enjoy helping people, and you're a little bit technical, you don't have to be super technical. we can teach you that part, but if you have that other personal skill set, which includes a strong customer focus, then yeah, I would encourage you to give it a try.
Yeah, and in doing so, you probably can go to the website, Start.ca, click on the career section, and you never know what could be up there. It could be a role right now for a customer service representative.
Absolutely.
Right? Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Aaron Thomas, Marketing Director here at Start.ca. With me for this great show is Al Uniac, who is the Service Desk Director, and very proud once again to have you on board, and the fact that we have over 100 people with your leadership doing a really great job. So thank you. Great.